Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's machine, we've got a Toyota. Everyone thinks they make cars, they also make sewing machine, although that's a different division of the company. This is a model 2640, not sure the age on this one. I've done lots of these in the past. Nice sturdy machine, to be fair. First thing I noticed, got it on the bench, got the electrics out, don't know if you can see here, but the cable is not correctly inserted into the plug top. There's no grip on that at all, so that can come loose. If I pulled hard enough, that'll probably all come out. So first thing I'm going to do is make this safe. When I'm doing a machine, I always look at the electrics as well, check the plugs. You can just open it up, you can actually see the mistake. They put the neutral into the live into the neutral. God knows who wires these things up sometimes. But hey, not everybody knows everything. And also there's a 13 amp plug in there, fuse in there, which you don't need for a sewing machine. It's only a very low powered item. What I'm going to do is loosen off the plug top, get the cable out, remake the ends and put it in so it's safe. Just goes to show, if you just presume things are done properly and they're not, you never find them. So I always check the plugs. Most of the modern plugs are moulded and you can't see where the wires are. If they're moulded, they've been put on right by the manufacturer, we presume. Let me just measure off the cable. Make that a little bit shorter, that live. Neutral can stay as it is. Just strip that back a bit more. Give it a twist. Double it over. Same with the neutral. There. It's not a very exciting video for you guys, I suppose. It's only putting a plug on, but it's just really to show that things should be done safely. And, if I find it not safe, I shall put it safe. Okay. I'll finish doing this and then I'll come back to you when I start the machine. Always check your electrics. Okay, I've rewired this plug top. Live in there, neutral in there. I've put a 3 amp fuse instead of the 13 and the cord grip is really gripping this cord firmly. So we'll pop the top on that. I will give it a proper electrical test when I've finished, called PAT test, portable appliance test. I test all machines when they come in just to check they're safe. Plug that in, plug that in. It's a new fuse, the light comes on so we know the fuse is okay and we're ready to service. Right, let me just run it quickly, just check everything's going up and down and round as it should. Yep, pretty noisy. You expect it when the machine hasn't been serviced before. Got a little note here from the customer, it says never been serviced, never been able to remove plate. So it's obviously never been cleaned either, no fluff removed. Stick that there. Take the bobbin case out. Take the hook assembly out. And what I do then, just put the hook back in onto wide zigzag. And I'm just going to physically by eye check the timing, which is good. Good on both sides. So we don't need to check the timing, and I presume this is the plate that the lady can't remove. You might not be able to get a screwdriver in there, and I imagine they're quite tight. But with this tool you can get some leverage on it, loosen them off. That's good. So, it doesn't actually look too fluffy underneath, so I'm not expecting too much under this plate. Two screws, take the plate off, take the presser foot off, take the needle out, so we know the timing's okay. I'll put a new needle in there as always. And no, not really, hardly any fluff under there. Give it a little blow. We'll take the top off. Two screws on these, one there. I can see that there's no spool pins on this machine, nowhere to put the thread, so we'll have to find a spool pin and put that in for the lady. Take the top off, take the side off, put my tools away as I go. Okay, and then we've got some Phillips screws underneath. Just check you're getting this. Yep. Two screws there. Take that leg off. One screw here holds the plastic on. Two more for the other leg. Can't see me doing, it's too low down. Number two, just have to remember one leg goes, short leg at the back, long leg at the front. Another couple of screws, there and there. And the whole of the bottom comes off then. As you can see, it's pretty clean under there, and she hasn't been used a great deal. A few dead animals. Always find little insects underneath machines, spiders. That's from something the other day, that's not come out of the machine. Get all the fluff out. Okay, we'll take this side one off actually, and check the belts. You only have one belt on these. From the motor to the hand wheel. Yeah. Just check the condition of the belt. No fraying, no cracking. I can hold the machine and the belt doesn't slip, so the belt tension's fine. Go a bit too tight, puts a strain on the motor, will shorten the life of the motor. And it's not a big thing for me changing motors on sewing machines. Can't remember the last one I did, to be fair. Certainly a built-in machine like this, the motor's built in. Some of the hang-on motors on the older machines they wear. Okay, so it looks a pretty good machine, this one. It's all nice and clean, but very dry, never been oiled. As the lady said, never been serviced. So we'll get some oil into it. Check the tensions. I normally start at the bottom oiling. There's no reason for that, I just habit really. All these little points where the metal rubs together, drop of oil. Run the machine to work it in. Make sure it's on full length, which it is. Yeah, this machine doesn't really have a separate stitch length and stitch width. It's all on one dial. I'll show you here. So for straight stitch you've got a short one, a medium one and a long one, and for zigzag you've got narrow and then getting wider and wider. There's 4 settings. As you adjust the settings for the width, it also adjusts automatically the length, so you don't end up with a wide short. It's all proportionate, all set on this machine. It's a nice simple machine, you can't change anything. These purple patterns are stretch stitches, so the machine will go back and forwards and create these stretch stitches. And then the orange ones, or pink, I'm a bit colourblind, looks orange to me. These 3 are your buttonhole. Again, it adjusts the stitch length for you. Very simple machine, pretty bulletproof. As long as you keep them oiled. The only thing to go wrong with these is really tensions and timing. Timing probably isn't a major issue on this because it's such a simple mechanism. And the screws are pinned in, so the shafts can't really move. So if the shaft's perfectly round and the gear gets loose, it can spin round on what it's attached to. But on these machines, I think the shafts have a flat for the screw to go on. They can't really go out of time. The only way for these to go out of time is if the needle bar gets loose and moves, and then the needle's in the wrong place rather than the hook. I do like Toyota machines, they're very simple, pretty well made. They very rarely need parts. Not too much oil. You can probably hear it's actually a lot quieter already. I don't know if the microphone picks that up. Okay, so we'll put it onto wide zigzag again. I'll bring the machine over a bit so you can see what I'm doing. At the moment I'm doing the needle end. The oil can does get blocked occasionally. Blow it out, that's better. Okay. I shan't show you everywhere oil because otherwise I'll have to hold the camera and can't really do what I'm doing. Run it nice and slow. Get the places where I need to get the oil to. Quite a lot of moving parts on a sewing machine. You don't actually realise. You have to oil them all. That's good. This here is called a cam stack. And what that does, I'll show you how it works when you adjust the stitch. This gear selector here pushes against some fingers which push against the cam stack, so, and this is all to do with width of the needle. It pushes the needle side to side. So if you select maybe that stitch there, which is a blind hem, every 4th stitch it does a little zigzag, so it does 4 straight stitches and then the zigzag. And that's because one of these fingers here is resting against this. This has raised points on it which pushes the finger, that's attached to the needle bar width and pushes it side to side. Very simple, not a lot to go wrong. The only thing that can go wrong sometimes is that it goes out of sync because this gear gets loose, and what will happen then is the needle will swing while it's in the fabric rather than come up and then swing across. And it's just a matter of changing the swing timing. It's not a common problem. This part here, it's like a big end on a car engine. bearing that runs, and that controls the actual feed dog underneath, and also the hook. It oscillates the hook. Hook goes side to side. There's only two really mechanisms on a modern machine. There's a rotary hook which just spins in one direction, a lot faster, a bit more reliable rotary hooks, I think. If I put it onto stretch stitch, you'll see this mechanism down here. Every 2 or 3 stitches it operates, and what that's doing is making it go in reverse. You can actually hear the tone change on the machine when it goes into reverse. It's because it's having to work that a little bit harder. Again, it's a cam on here which tells it to do that at a certain point. If you're just watching this to learn how to service a machine, you're probably not interested how they work. It's always nice to learn something. And it keeps me happy, that's the main thing. Okay, so that's nicely oiled now. So we'll take this little wheel off the end of the hand wheel. Underneath here, you've seen my videos before, all machines have this, well most do. This little clutch disc here, there's your hand wheel, that needs to be lubricated inside there, so that when it's released it will thread the bobbin without the needle going up and down. It doesn't really matter if the needle goes up and down while the bobbin's going round and round, but it's just quieter. So that's moving now, the main shaft is staying still until you use this little mechanism here, this little washer. And this wheel at the end, when you tighten it, it pushes that washer down onto the main shaft and engages it with this plastic wheel. Makes the needle go up and down, release it, needle doesn't go up and down. Simple clutch. Lovely. Right, I think that's all clean. All the fluff I think is out of it now. Just remembered a couple of points I forgot to oil. Since I've been making videos on what I do, I just have to double check I've done stuff because I'm too busy talking rather than doing. Easy to miss things when you're concentrating on something else. Lovely, sounds really nice. Everything there's good. Put the side back on. Lots of stickers on this machine, I don't know what they're all for. You don't know where to take them off or not. I always like to send the machine back looking a bit fresher than it came in, but I don't want to remove someone's stickers that they put there for a reason, so I'll probably leave these alone. Okay. Check the bottom. Nice and clean. It just slides back through there to position. Get the electric screwdriver on the case, I think it's a bit quicker. do them loosely for now. Feet back on. Short one at the back, long one at the front. Just use the screwdriver on that one. Sometimes when they're low down it's hard to get a longer screw on that one, I think. Where's my screws gone? That's it. Screws for there. One more there. And one more to hold the plastic on at the bottom. Once everything looks straight, get the electric screwdriver on, tighten everything up. That's good. That's all on there now. Bit of oil on the bobbin winder, not too much. Check the actual ring on the bobbin winder's nice and round, no flat spots. You can normally hear it. I'll just pop that in there, push that across. You can, yeah, you can normally hear. Nice and quiet, no flat spots. Tighten that up again. Big screwdriver. That's good. Okay, tension set to 5. That should be okay. Soon find out when we sew. If not, I can adjust it. Okay, we check the hook over now. What we check for is burrs on the hook. Slight burr on there. Just file it down. That will make the threads snap. Don't want to do it too much. It's pretty hardened this steel, so quite hard for it to get damaged. But if you've got any burrs on here, catches the thread, it will break it or make it all tangle up underneath. I want to get a bit of excess oil out of here. So, I know I say it in every video I make, but if you get too much oil down here, it will transfer to the fabric. And we don't like that. Just put a drop of oil in the right place. Clean the oil up where it's not needed. Pop that into place. And this here is the hook retaining piece. Nice and clean. that into place. Two clips across like so. Check the needle plate for any damage where the needle might have hit it. No damage on this one. I don't think this machine's been used too much. It's too clean. What tends to happen is people put them away for a few years and then they get the sewing bug, either through moving house or having grandchildren and we make stuff for the cots. The machine comes out again. Normally it's a little bit dry, especially if it's been stored somewhere warm. And when it runs it sounds horrible. And if they don't sound right, people don't have confidence in the sewing of them. They could be noisy and sew fine, but it just drives you nuts, the noise. I think what happens is you're trying to sew at home on the dining room table. Kids are trying to listen to the TV and it's so noisy you just get moaned at. So then I get the call and quieten my machine down. Okay, the teeth are coming up perfectly, needle's up and down good. Put the presser foot back on. No damage to that. So I think the main fault with this machine is it hasn't been used enough. Like any bit of machinery, they like to be moving, keeps them all loose, spreads the oil around. If they just sat in a cupboard, they just dry out. Okay, that's working right. The tension release up here releases when the foot's up, tightens when the foot's down. Perfect. This is the presser foot pressure, so that releases it. So I've got a lot of pressure holding the fabric down. Push that down, gives it some pressure. Have it too far down with thin fabrics, it will snag. So halfway down normally, general sewing. It's still a little bit dry. We're going to put some more oil on that so I can feel it. Let's make sure that's nice and loose. That hasn't moved for a while, I don't think that. Now put some oil in, that'll be fine. Okay, bobbin case, need to check inside for fluff. And give it a little blow. I always check under the spring for fluff as well. Use an old needle. Yep, nothing under there. Customer hasn't left me a bobbin, so I'll use one of mine. Fits in perfect, that's the right bobbin. Okay, I'm going to go and try and find a spool pin and we'll come back to you. Right, we found the spool pin. It's actually in the customer's accessory box for this machine, so didn't need to supply one. Literally screws on top. Don't know why they took it off really. It's not in a case or anything, so it's not too high. But, I'll leave it on, I won't take it off again. The customer can remove it if they want to. Now we're going to thread the bobbin. Wind the bobbin up. Sorry about jiggling the camera, but it's in the way. Okay, it's threading nice and evenly. Goes in the bobbin case. Check the tension. It should just hang on its own. If I shake it, it will drop. That's about the right tension. It's already set perfectly. You can always adjust it if the stitch doesn't look right. I reckon that'll be okay. Put a new needle in, size 14 I always put in, does most things. make sure that's in the right way round. Which it is. Okay, just thread the machine up. So this one goes, make sure the presser foot's up, opens up the tensions, down and up, through the guides. Let's see how my eyesight is today. Yep, that's good. Having a good day today. Let's see what I'm doing. Tighten the slide wheel up, pull the bottom thread up, ready to sew. Let's find some fabric. Tend to use these old shirts. Nice fabric to sew on. I see a nice clear tension. That's what I'm testing for, really, is tensions. Okay, so we'll start up on a straight stitch. Sounds nice. Nothing's getting caught. Hold down reverse, goes backwards, release goes forwards, so reverse is working. What I'm testing for now is tension, so we look at the top stitch, which should show individual stitches. Hopefully you can see that. If I can zoom in, I'll show you later. I'll move the fabric up to it. Underneath is the same, they're all individual stitches. I'm happy with that. So now we put it onto a zigzag, which, as I've said before, always shows up a worse tension on a zigzag. And what we're looking for is individual left and right peaks. Which is good. So on top, perfect V's, bottom perfect V's, there's no Y shapes, which means you've got a loose tension. So from doing those two stitches, I now know the tension is spot on for all the stitches. Don't need to change it. Only time you do sometimes is for buttonhole. You just loosen this top tension down a bit for buttonhole, but most people don't. Let's just try some other stitches. Once again is that blind hem. There's a straight stitch and then a zigzag. Put it onto that one there. Just looks like a progressive zigzag. It starts off narrow and builds wide. Can't really see the point of that stitch for anybody, to be honest. I'm not a great sewer. I don't sew at all, but I don't really know what that's used for. Maybe you can comment and tell me. This one here is a zigzag, but it stitches across the zigzag. So instead of just left, right, it sews to the left using straight stitch and then sews to the right. I think they call that a satin stitch. On a machine where you can adjust the stitch length, you make it short and you can use it for darning. It goes across the tear. You've got a tear in some fabric, so you can repair it. Okay, let's try some stretch stitches. Use this with stretchy fabric. Again, the fabric's going back and forwards, creating that nice stretch stitch. You can use it as just a really strong stitch if you want to make something really strong. Maybe you're doing some covers for a boat or a car. If you're making a car cover and you want really strong, you could just put it on straight stitch, stretch stitch, and it does a double, literally does a double stitch, makes it really strong. But if you've got a sewing machine, you probably know what I'm telling you here about sewing, because you'll obviously know more about it than I will. Just check. Put my buttonhole. It's not really the right foot for buttonhole. But check that the machine is going into doing the right things. Cut that off there, cut that off there. So now I'll show you. So this is the top of the fabric, so you can see the individual stitches with a straight stitch. Perfect V's both sides for the zigzag. Nice little buttonhole, back and front. This is your stretch stitches. I'm really happy with that. It's a nice stitch. So all that needs now is me to clean it up, do a pat test on it with a machine, just plug it in, check that the electrics are fine. We know the plug's good because I've done that. Clean it up, phone the customer, get them to come and collect it. Yeah, nice machine. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, tell your friends. Got any questions, just put in the comments and I'll try and get round to answering them. If it looks like something you don't want to do, give me a ring, we'll get the machine to us, we can give it a service for you. Thank you for watching.